Let's move along to Massimiliano Paolucci from the World Bank. Your thoughts, please.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be such a distinguished panel. A lot of the things that have been discussed today are part of what I'm going to say, but I just want to make one point, and building on what Minister Rizvanoli was saying. She was focusing on the last 2 years, but if we look at the progress that the country has made since the 1990s, it is impressive. We have a country that was a low-income country, and it's now an upper middle-income country with its own challenges. But to achieve such a progress in a relatively short period of time, it speaks actually to the dynamism of the country and the dynamism of the economy. Now, the past years have seen, as we all know, a multiplication of crises. The region has withstood these crises in different ways. But what we see is that from 2023, where growth has lagged behind, if you wish, even if at 2.6%, it wasn't an impressive growth, we are now seeing an increase in prospects leading to 3.2% at the end of 2024, and we estimate that growth will reach 3.8% in 2026. Is this enough for the region? No. It is not enough because, as we heard before, it will take a long time for the region to bridge the gap between, with the EU in terms of per capita income. So depending on the country, we're talking about decades, 2 decades, 3 decades, but it's a long time. And that presuming that countries will continue growing at these percentages. So what would it take for this gap to be actually closed earlier? It would take these countries to grow more faster, to be more productive. We heard it before, to create more jobs, better value jobs and better paid jobs. So, and that, if we unpack this concept, means 2 things. More regional integration, we've heard about it time and again today, and structural reforms. Let me focus on 2 aspects of regional integration that are important and also highlight what we've been doing in the region. First is trade and transport facilitation. Regional integration is important because countries, as we know, will be able to access bigger markets. They will have stronger bargaining power. But trade and transport facilitation is the starting point of all this. We calculated that simply by reducing the transit time at the borders, the equivalent, by 2 hours, we will have the same effect of reducing tariffs by 2%, or, said in other words, an increase of GDP that averages between 1.5 and 3%. That's huge. What would it take there? Investments in infrastructure to facilitate border crossing, intelligent transport system, and cutting of red tape at the border. Another dimension of regional integration, we heard it also before, is regional payment systems. That is essential. It has to go, however, and all the countries have been working on this also in the context of the Berlin process, and we are supporting that process. But that will have to go together with a deepening of financial and capital markets. Kosovo, until very recently, did not have access to international markets, as we know. The investment rating came very recently. So that is important, but that has to go in tandem with a deepening of the domestic capital market, where financial intermediation is still very shallow and is dominated by the banking sector only. Another dimension that I wanted to discuss, and we alluded to that, is energy, the energy sector. When we talk about energy sector, yes, the transition to renewables is important, but we also have regional integration. And for countries with a small markets, like the ones in the Western Balkans, regional integration is a key. Kosovo has made progress with that, with Albania. It could be, the progress could be even faster and bigger with the northern neighbor of Serbia. We know the constraints there, but regional integration is part of the decarbonization story of this country. Let me just mention two other things. Regional integration, infrastructure development is all important issues, but without investing in people, we will not go very far. Kosovo's human capital development is 0.57, which means that a child born today will be 50% productive at the age of 18, simply because the quality of education and health is not where it should be. Investing in people is the best investment that a country can make. And finally, digitalization. Kosovo is the only country in the region and one of the few countries in the world, in Europe, that has achieved 100% coverage of the digital broadband. This is an important achievement. Not enough, though. Now we need to go to the next step, which is digitalization of services, digitalization of financial services, digitalization of education. The country can do it. The young population, it has a young population that can actually reap the benefit of digitalization and move the needle forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for those words. Let's move along.